Thanks for the opportunity, Shridhar sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I done the parenting course with you.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, how are
Yes,
you?
yes. I'm good. How are you?
Fine. Actually, my question is a little sensitive and social related topic. It may offend few people. I'm sorry for that, but it's a burning topic in my life. I have a 5-year child who got inspired by seeing the dressing up mat way of many people who wear like crop top and kind of exposing dress. And I'm not against any form of dress, but I feel like the dress should be appropriate, which should not dressing up should not induce any feelings of others. This is very practically I'm seeing. Even if a small child who dress up with crop top, naturally my eyes go to her body more than the face. And I'm really worried about the safety of my daughter and how it affects other people when they see them and they have to control all the feelings which they are going through. Then how can I explain in this challenging world? And I'm not here to change the world, but I have to explain my daughter to be appropriate, and she is now 5. That doesn't matter. It is always troubling my back of the mind. If she grows up and if she wants to wear, I believe that she will be safe. It is not that she is going to get into danger if she is wearing that kind of dresses. But sometimes I just don't want unnecessarily to arouse everyone no around me. That is how as a lady I feel like I am rightful to show my body to my husband, not more than anyone. So that is what I believe and I value, and my body is something very secret and it is precious. And because of my body anyone gets into problem or into arousal state, that is not I'm not feeling responsible socially, and I'm not feeling responsible personally too. I'm not criticizing here with this point to anyone who does this, but this is a very burning point. Not many parents are coming out so expressively about this point, but this is actually burning point, burning sensation now. Uh, Thank you.
All right. No, first of all, I respect that you put this out, this question, because it is a sensitive one, obviously. And first of all, let me start with saying that to this question, there are no black and white answers. And if somebody says that, okay, this is completely right or this is completely wrong, they're probably missing a lot of nuance. And that's why I'm going to answer this question in many details from many angles. Okay. So first of all, what you said in terms of I can't change the word, that part is absolutely right, which is no parent or no individual can change the entire word. So what I mean by that is, so if you talk about any form of crimes, sexual assaults, right, that happen in this society, now we know that that's a reality in the world for sure. And anybody, and of course, it's a sad reality because, and it's a terrible reality, but it is a reality no matter what. So for any parent or even for any woman, because I say woman here because the rate of crimes is disproportionately more towards women as opposed to men. So for this conversation, I'm going to focus on the women part, not the men part. Okay. So for women, the difficult question becomes, what is the balance between my personal freedom versus reaching a point where it can actually become risky for me? So ideally, in a utopian world, it should never become risky, right? In the ideal world, whatever you wear, wherever you go, it becomes a responsibility for the viewer, the watcher, or people out there to regulate their own emotions and to regulate their own desires and behave themselves, right? That would be the ideal world. But sadly, we are not there yet. And that's why we have to ask the question, what is the balance? And this judgment, by the way, will never be perfect. It's like you can be in the safest zones, like you are running in a metro and somebody can come and touch you wrongly, right? That happens. And sometimes you're walking on the street in the night and nothing might happen, right? So it's not like your judgment will always be perfect. Sometimes, and I've known accounts where people even close to you, even family members, have done inappropriate things with women. Like that happens too. So this is a very, very sad reality. This is why what any woman in this conversation, what any woman is trying to understand, ki how much should I go, like how much free should I be, and versus like how much risk can I take, right? Like that is the balance. And this answer is going to be dependent on, first of all, person to person. But here I'm going to share some tendencies, like major like thought processes which you must keep in mind before taking a final decision, right? So in general, the idea is that you must tend towards more and more freedom than less. So if we agree on basic fact that freedom is better than restriction, then it's better, because it is the reality of the world, or reality of human mind, that we want freedom. We want freedom of expression. We want freedom of, again, of anything, right? Freedom of education, freedom of wherever we want to live, and then freedom of whatever we want to wear, right? So your child has that freedom too. You have that freedom too. Now, if you don't want to exercise that freedom, that's again up to you. But inherently, for human spirit, that freedom is a very fundamental thing, right? That we want the freedom to be able to do whatever you want. So in the long run, you must realize that your child must be able to exercise maximum freedom until you are absolutely sure that she could be in the harm's way. So let's say we can look at a reality. Let's say in Delhi, NCR is kind of infamous for such crimes, right? So any woman, let's say if she's dressed up in or anyway, like if she's walking completely alone at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, then anybody would say that's not a good idea, right? Because you can't change people who are there, and you are just it could lead to an attack. So we always make sure that there are other people around, and you keep calling us, you give us your live location. Why do we do those things? Because we just want to make sure the safety. So that is like the extreme end, like walking alone in the night. But then if you go down incrementally from there, let's say your child is wearing the crop top, or even if your young daughter is wearing the crop top and walking around in the mall, right, where you are reasonably sure nothing untoward is going to happen. So in those cases, your first principle must be, I must give as much freedom as possible, because I know that there is no risk here, right? And that's why if your child is choosing to wear a crop top or anything that they want in a mall or in a reputed place or a public place where you know nothing bad can happen, then you must allow that freedom. Okay. So ultimately, whatever you choose to do with your own personal life is completely up to you. But remember that as your child grows up, they have their own freedoms, and they would want to express themselves the way they want to. And they're also looking at the culture. Your child will also look at their own friends, right? Mom, my friends are wearing the same things. I see people wearing something in the movies, right? Nothing is happening to them. Why are you restricting me? And that would be a valid question too. Okay. So here, the only two things that you kind of would have to manage would be risk versus freedom. Okay. So I would say, other than that, I'll take that to that. So if your child is moving freely in a mall, and looking at her, somebody gets aroused, that's not your and your child's problem, right? And as long as they're behaving themselves, you don't have to care about anything. And if they misbehave, in fact, there are ways to address that too before completely withdrawing yourself. Like there are ways of self-defense, there are ways of fighting it too, and which are being taught to young girls, like whether you keep a pepper spray or you learn a little bit of martial arts of self-defense. So there are some other ways also. Instead of just saying, you know what, now you stay at home or just wear complete burqas or saris or completely basically, no, I'm just talking about the extreme part. I'm not saying that you do that. I'm saying about the extreme part, that we can't just do that, right? So this is why, if you understand how the culture is going, the culture naturally tends towards more and more freedom, more and more openness. And it's completely okay as long as people learn how to behave, and they are learning also to behave. So for any parent, it's never going to be an easy decision. The anxiety is understandable because the risks are real. So if you feel that anxiety, that's completely okay. But now If you're doing it for other reasons, which is the cultural part, that it is inappropriate, it doesn't look good, then the problem is slightly different. So far I said danger versus freedom. Now I'm talking about freedom versus culture. Here you say, you know what, our culture doesn't allow this, right? Because so many people say, you know what, even daughters or daughter-in-laws, they can't even wear jeans, they have to wear suits, or some people say they have to wear saris. It still happens to this day. There you're not even talking about the danger, you're talking about culture, that my culture does not allow it, and that's a terrible reason. Okay, if your child is in a safe zone and there is no real risk involved, and because of the name of culture you actually inhibit their freedom, that again is a terrible choice. And this goes back to my first principle of humanism, remember. Ultimately, what we say is highest priority is human well-being, human happiness. And in the name of culture or any fictitious entity, you must not suppress any of those things. So it relates back to that principle, which I keep repeating, which I did not this time. So you have to ask, are you doing it for danger or for culture? And you have to be very honest with yourself. So for culture, it would be a bad reason. For danger, it's understandable. And then again, you have to tend towards freedom. So this is like the full answer to the question. These videos can help you to some degree, but if your problems are really serious or painful, you should come for counseling. We now have a team of psychologists who can help you and your family live a much better life. Here are some feedbacks from our clients. If you wish to take counseling from us, go to our website page www.shridharlifeschool.com/counsel. Click on this link and fill this application form. We will get back to you soon. I would be doing these online meetings with you all regularly for some time. If you wish to attend these meetings live on Zoom, save the details. If you need reminders, we also send invitations to you personally on email and Telegram app. To get reminders, do the following.